The craziest thing happened on round 10 of the European Women's Blitz Chess Championship, which was played in Monaco. I was playing against a fellow Swede, and this was not just any Swede, but I was playing Women International Master Inna Agrest, who's actually ranked 2 in the whole country after my mother. So I've played countless Olympiads with Inna, I've played a lot of European team chess championships, and we've always been on the same team. So I was actually very shocked because I don't think I've ever played her before, even though we've been on the same team a bunch of times. So it always feels weird when you play a fellow team member because I'm always rooting for her, but now I'm like, I want you to lose because we are playing each other. But this was such a fun encounter, and Inna is a very strong player. Like I said, she's ranked number 2 in all of Sweden, and her rating right now is of 2285 in FIDE rating. So she is a very strong player. Anyways, we were talking a bit, chatting about if we've ever played each other, and then we started the clock. So she is an e4 player, and she played the move 1 e4 to what I replied c5. This became an open Sicilian. I went knight f6, and now after she brought her knight, I brought the other knight, and she instantly went for this line where it becomes a little bit tactical. I mean, she goes e5, and you're gonna see that this becomes a very crazy game in some way. So she went a3, and this line is a little bit different. The main line is for her to go c4, but she went a3 with the idea being of preventing bishop b4 check. So this is a line that's not as commonly played, but I think even the engine thinks that a3 is like one of the best moves for white in that position. I studied this a little while back, and then I studied the move a5. She went bishop d3, and I had kind of forgotten a little bit how the theory went, but I thought that now that we haven't entered a very, well, the kind of main line in this, I thought that now I'm supposed to go knight e3 to trade off that knight. So I was spending a little bit of time thinking just to ensure that I was correct about this. And now I decided that, yes, probably my best choice would be to go knight e3, but I was thinking, should I go bishop e7? Should I go f5? I was calculating a lot of different lines here, but I ended up realizing that I wanted to go knight e3. So she went queen e2, and then I went back with my knight. And I wanted to reroute my knight now to the square d4. That's the place I was trying to get my knight to, which is a very good square because, I mean, my knight is just so strong there. So she went c3 to prevent this plan from happening. But now I thought, okay, now I've gotten time. So I went bishop a6 because I wanted to trade off my bad bishop towards her good bishop. You see, my light squared bishop is really bad because all my pawns are on light squares, so it's kind of like a big pawn with a big hat. Perhaps I should have played something like d5, I'm not sure, but anyways, she went rook b1, so she was also playing kind of slow moves, and this gave me a lot of confidence because I thought this position has to be pretty good for me. Like, I was definitely feeling like I had gotten a pretty good position. I traded off the bishops, and after she took back, it was time to find my next plan. So I did look at moves before, such as, should I move up my dark squared bishop? Should I go castles? I had a lot of different ideas here, but my time was ticking, and I knew that Inna was a very tactical player and a very fast player. So I had to do everything to ensure that I didn't fall for her tricks. So I only had a minute 20, and I was trying to make the decision. I was also thinking, should I go something like h5? Just to prevent her pawn from going to g4. But I ended up playing the move queen b3, which I thought was a nice move to simply prevent her from getting any space on the queen side. Now my plan was, I thought, to go rook b8 and then perhaps play against her rook on b1. Here, she simply went castles, And now I started realizing that maybe my plan wasn't actually so good. Like, where was my king going, I thought. I started getting really stressed about my time as well because I only had less than a minute. So I had to decide, should I go something like bishop e7 and then castle, but then maybe my move queen b3 was for nothing. So I went queen d5 instead, which was definitely a bit of an annoying move to make because I was making the concession that my move queen b3 wasn't so good. And she simply moved her queen, threatening now to go rook d1. So now I started getting a bit freaked out. I went bishop c5 check because I just wanted to get my pieces out as quickly as possible. But I started realizing that my queen didn't have a lot of squares to go to, so I was worried that she could go rook d1, threaten my queen, and then my queen would just not have any good space to go to. So I started getting a little bit scared, but I thought, okay, I need to get my king into safety. So I thought, am I really trapping my queen? Is there nothing? I thought there probably has to be something. I thought I can't really have my queen trapped. But now I was getting under 20 seconds. She had over 2 minutes. So now things were going very, very differently. But I ended up going bishop e7 just to make sure that I didn't blunder my queen in any way or my bishop. I started getting a little bit annoyed at the fact that my time was so low. She threatened my queen. I went queen a2, which I thought I had to. I castled here, and now it was all about just playing fast enough. So I thought that she couldn't really try to trap my queen. She went bishop e1. I instantly went rook b8. And now I was playing pretty well, especially considering how little time I had. So rook b8, threatening the pawn on b2. She was thinking about what is her best way of continuing this. She does have a better position. My pawn on d7 is just completely hanging. So I just had to find a way of not basically losing that pawn. But she can't take it right now because then I take her rook. That's my idea. And if she went rook a1, I thought I can go queen takes b2. So she went queen f2. And I saw my time tick now. I decided to just go a4 to prevent her pawn from ever moving, but then I realized that maybe she can go for a move such as queen c2 to threaten that pawn. And then Inna thought about the same thing, and she went queen c2, and I instantly went for the move queen b3, quickly realizing I missed knight e3. I saw it like a move after and was shaking my head because I couldn't believe that I had missed the move knight e3, simply winning the exchange and probably winning the game. And I was in complete disbelief. Now I was getting very annoyed because I was in complete disbelief about the fact that I had missed that big fork. And yeah, I was just really sad about that, but it was obviously just the time. She went here bishop f2. I went rook b8. I thought this is the time to try to be active, but unfortunately she's going to be very active too after rook takes d7. But I was able to go bishop takes a3, where my idea was that if she takes, I take her rook. So I only had 6 seconds left, but she was also getting low on time now. She played the move rook a1. I took the next pawn. She took my pawn. I took the next pawn. I thought I just gotta take all the pawns I can take right now. And to be fair, in this moment, I was actually a pawn up, but my pieces weren't so well placed. But yeah, I was just now trying to play as fast as possible. I was definitely not worse in any way. I went bishop b2, just with literally less than a second left on the clock. I was trying to find a good plan. I went rook f8 here. She threatened my rook, and now I started kind of freaking out. My pawn on f7 was hanging, but I thought that that was okay. I went bishop c1, threatening her pawn, and now I thought I might be winning this game. She went check, I went check. Sorry, she went g3, I went check. I thought now this position has to be really good. I was trying to bring my next rook into the game. I was threatening now checkmate, but I realized maybe I should have gone something like h4. We traded rooks here, and I thought this was just good because I was so much higher, or I had so much more time. But she started tricking me a lot with her knight, and now I went check. I took her pawn, but as you can see, I was playing many moves with very little time. I took her pawn, And then I went for another check, and then I defended my rook. She moved her rook, I moved mine. And it became kind of back and forth. She was shaking her head because she thought this was just going to be a draw. I moved my rook. She moved her knight. And now we were playing really fast. But in this position, I made a blunder because I just blundered my g6 pawn. And I thought I would be able to win her pawn as well. But the problem was that after I won that pawn, my pieces were just really tied up. And after she pushed her pawn, I couldn't find a way of being able to stop her pawn from promoting. Yeah, maybe it looks really easy, but I couldn't really find any way of preventing that. So here I kind of freaked out and I ended up losing on time. And to this day, even looking at this position without an engine, I don't really know. The engine is saying that this is a draw, but I still do not really know how to stop that pawn. So if you have any idea in the comments, do let me know, because I still do not know what the best move is in that position. So yeah. Do let me know what I perhaps should have done. I still don't know. We were both shaking our heads. I was telling her that I could have won her exchange. She was like, yeah, I saw that after too. But I ended up losing this game against Inna. So I was a bit sad that I lost like this, but I also know she's a strong player. But what I didn't know back then was that I was about to play her the day after as well. And I was going to try to go for revenge then. I hope you enjoyed this game. Thank you so much for watching. And the Blitz tournament was about to come to an end. After this, there were only 3 rounds left.